Hello everybody and welcome to Favorite Rugby on Fair Sport. For today's preview, London Irish taking on the Stormers, and the Stormers, can they try and put in a much better performance over in Europe than the initial first round of the Champions Cup, where I think they tried to play very much Stormers rugby in conditions that didn't suit and couldn't really adapt their game plan to the conditions. They'll be up against London Irish and probably a little bit better potentially conditions than what they had last time, but still expect to be pretty wet, pretty cold. And they need to be able to adapt to whatever they throw out. And it's a big opportunity for the Stormers to sort of show they can adapt, because they are only playing a lot more games in Europe. And obviously, if you get to the playoffs for the Champions Cup and Challenge Cup, they are all in Europe. And whilst the weather will get progressively better as we get sort of February, March, April, and by the sort of time we get to finals in about May, for now, you do need to be able to learn and adapt to the conditions so you can get yourself to the position where once you play in May and where the conditions are far better, you're still in the competition, for example. Before you look at the two sides, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We'll start with the London Irish side. And a couple of big names in there, a very international flavour to this London Irish side. In the front row, Will Goodrick Clark, Mike Willemse, Lovejoy, Chawatama. So for all the African viewers, a 30-year-old Zimbabwean tight head, a nice bit of representation there. We've then got Api Ratunu He's going to give the commentators a lot of nightmares this weekend. Rob Simmons next to him in that back row. Jean-Martin Gonzalez, who I think was probably one of the breakthrough players this year last year, Argentina. Brilliant player. Can do everything. High work rate, really good tackler, nice ball carrier as well. He's very much one of my players to watch going into the World Cup later this year. Very exciting player then. Tom Pearson next to Matt Rogerson, who will captain the side. Ben White next to Rory Jennings in that halfback pairing. It's a nice halfback pairing. You then got Ollie Hassel-Collins, Lucio Sinti as your two wings. Bernard van Rensburg, South African born, centre next to Luca Marizzi. It's a nice centre pairing as well. Ben Loader at full back. Off the bench, a couple of nice players in the likes of Ignacio Ruiz and Daniel Fischetti will bring a bit of international quality into the side in the latter stages of the game. Kieran Parker rounding off that front row. Chunya Munga, Josh Basham, Chandler Cunningham, South, Joe Powell, Michael Dykes rounding off the bench for London Irish. They are at home, and I think at home, stick to your guns, really. Keep it tight. Don't give the Stormers too much width. And for me, as much as, I think Moinley was a phenomenal player, but I'll be targeting him in potentially bad conditions. I'd really be going after him, trying to get him off his game, because if he does settle in, he will make you guys, he put you to the sword. He can really control a game if you let him. So him, Damien Willems, so you got to try and shut those sort of players down and make sure they don't have as big of an effect on the game as possible. In terms of the Stormers side, it's a good one. Front row, Stephen Kitsov, Joseph Dweber, Netly for sure. No Frans Maher, which is going to be a big miss. But Stephen Kitsov, I think, will relish playing in these sort of conditions. Joseph Dweber will have to be very good at the lineouts, but will bring a lot of physicality. Connor Evans, Marvin Ori in second row. Marvin Ori experience will be very important, especially at line time with Joseph Dweber. That communication essential. Then Dion Free, Junior Pakamela, Chiva Diamani, a very dynamic loose chair. They can get around the park. Dion Free, very hard work rate. Chiva Diamani as well, but fantastic hands, good pace. Just can't do anything wrong. Almost got that Midas touch. He's playing with such good form at the moment. Paul DeVet, partnering Mani Liebach, Angela David, Simon Hartzenberg, the two wings. Dan Duplessis, partnering Ronald in the centres. Damien Willems, a couple of nice youngsters off the bench, for example. The likes of Andrew Hugo Fenter getting an opportunity next to Ali Fumaka and the evergreen Brock Harris, Simon Miller, Ben Jason Dixon, Willie Engelbrecht are on the bench as well. 6-2 split, Stefan Ungara and Sasha Feinberg and Goma Zulu. Will be the utility back. Very good to see Femi Gomez getting some more game time, especially in a game of this sort of magnitude, playing away in the UK in the Champions Cup. It's the perfect type of game. You want to see these sort of youngsters sink or swim. Andrew Hugo Fenter, for example, Simon Miller, Connor Evans, players who we haven't seen that much of at this level. Even Ben Jason Dixon, for example, still sort of getting to grips to this level. So it should be an exciting game. It's a good Stormers side. They're very much sent over, as good a side as they can. Are missing quite a few players to injury, so not their first choice side, but still a lot of star quality there. Damien Willemse, Martin Liebach, Dion Free, Stephen Kitsov, those sort of Springboks have got to stand up and really be counted. And if they can, then there's every chance the Stormers could put up what would be an upset in the Champions Cup and try and get themselves through to that next round. Let me know what you think of the score. What the score will be down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.